weren't fast. They didn't leap or scream. They just walked. And yet, Dawn of the Dead remains one of the most terrifying zombie films ever made. But what you probably don't know is that behind the undead chaos, there were real dangers, hidden messages, and stories so strange they almost sound fake. This is 21 Weird Facts You Didn't Know About Dawn of the Dead, 1978. Fact 1. Filming took place in a real mall that stayed open. Romero filmed inside the Monroeville Mall in Pennsylvania, and here's the wild part. The mall stayed open during the day. That meant the crew shot overnight, then had to clean up all the fake blood and zombie bodies before stores reopened the next morning. Imagine shoppers walking through Macy's, while the floors still had bloodstains from last night's decapitation scene. Fact 2. The mall's Christmas decorations made filming harder. The movie was shot during the holiday season, so while Romero wanted bleak, empty hallways, the mall was decked out in tinsel and Christmas trees. The crew had to cover up decorations and edit around flashing lights. If you look closely in some shots, you can still see bits of garland or holiday sparkle hidden behind mannequins. Fact 3. The blue zombies were a mistake. The iconic blue-gray zombie makeup wasn't meant to be blue at all. Special effects artist Tom Savini used gray paint for a corpse-like look, but under the mall's fluorescent lights and the film's color grading, it turned bright blue. Romero didn't care. He thought it made the zombies look otherworldly and weirdly cartoonish, which actually made them more unsettling. Fact 4. Tom Savini did his own stunts. Before he was known as a horror legend, Tom Savini was actually a combat photographer in Vietnam. That experience shaped his approach to gore. He'd seen real trauma. And in Dawn of the Dead, he not only designed the blood effects, but also performed as one of the motorcycle raiders, even doing his own stunts during the chaotic mall invasion scene. Fact 5. The blood was candy syrup. All that bright, comic book red blood, that wasn't paint. It was candy syrup mixed with food coloring. Savini wanted a stylized look rather than realism, which gave the film a comic book horror tone. It looked fake, yes, but that bright red made every death unforgettable. Fact 6. The gore scenes shocked European audiences. When Dawn of the Dead hit Europe, many theaters refused to show it. In Italy, it was actually released under a different name, Zombie, and became an underground sensation. It was considered too extreme for mainstream release in some countries, yet it still went on to influence European horror for decades. Fact 7. George A. Romero refused a rating. Romero knew the film would get an X rating for violence, which at the time was basically career suicide for a movie. So instead of submitting it to the MPAA, he released it unrated. That bold move helped give Dawn of the Dead its underground cult reputation. You didn't just watch it, you found it. Fact 8. Dario Argento helped make it happen. Yes, Suspiria's own Dario Argento helped Romero make Dawn of the Dead. He invited Romero to Italy to write the script, secured European funding, and in exchange, got the rights to cut and distribute his own European version of the film. That's why the Italian zombie cut feels faster, louder, and more surreal. Argento literally edited it himself. Fact 9. The bikers really destroyed the mall. During the movie's chaotic final act, Romero handed the stunt bikers real weapons, pies, and even blanks, and told them to just go wild. They broke windows, smashed displays, and rode through stores. The mall owners were horrified when they saw the damage afterward. Let's just say, the film's realism cost them more than a few storefronts. But what if I told you? The chaos on screen wasn't the only thing out of control, because what happened behind the cameras was just as unhinged. Fact 10. The actors were freezing cold. Filming overnight in the mall meant the heat was turned off. The cast spent hours covered in sticky fake blood, in freezing temperatures. By the end of the shoot, several extras said they got sick from staying cold and wet all night long. Fact 11. They used real meat for gore. In one of the most disgusting practical tricks, Savini used real animal organs and raw meat for some shots, but because they filmed for hours under hot lights, the smell became unbearable. Crew members reportedly gagged during takes, and some refused to stay on set. Fact 12. One extra got so drunk, he fell on camera. During the biker raid, some extras drank real alcohol to get in character. One of them got way too into it and stumbled into a live shot. Romero kept the footage in the final cut. That dazed zombie look wasn't acting. Fact 13. There's a hidden message about consumerism. Romero said the mall wasn't just a setting, it was a symbol. The zombies mindlessly returning to shop represented people addicted to consumer culture. They weren't hunting brains, they were shopping for memories. Fact 14. The score was made with experimental tech. The eerie synth soundtrack by Goblin, Argento's go-to band, was made using early analog synthesizers, long before digital tools existed. The result was a haunting, mechanical sound that feels alive, almost breathing. Fact 15. Romero almost cast a real news anchor. Romero wanted the TV studio scenes to feel authentic, so he nearly hired a real Pennsylvania news anchor to play the frantic broadcaster. They backed out at the last minute, afraid the movie would hurt their reputation. Fact 16. The helicopter scene was an accident. The infamous scene where a zombie's head gets sliced by a helicopter rotor wasn't in the script. The actor accidentally stood up too high, and Savini improvised the effect using a fake head in latex. That happy accident became one of horror's most iconic kills. Fact 17. It was almost a total flop. When Dawn of the Dead first released, critics didn't get it. Some called it tasteless and cheap, but word of mouth and late-night screenings made it explode. Within months, it became one of the most profitable independent films ever made. And here's where things start to get weird, because Romero's zombies almost didn't walk the way they do today. Fact 18. The zombie walk was a last-minute idea. Originally, Romero planned to have the undead move more aggressively, but he changed it when he saw how much creepier they looked moving slowly, like they were trapped in their own bodies. That slow, dragging shuffle would go on to define zombie movies forever. Fact 19. There's a cameo by the director himself. George A. Romero actually appears in the film. Blink and you'll miss him. He plays one of the TV directors in the newsroom scenes, calmly giving orders while society collapses live on air. Fact 20. It inspired an entire genre. Before Dawn of the Dead, zombies were just monsters. After it, they became social commentary. Movies like Shaun of the Dead, The Walking Dead, and even World War Z all trace their roots back to Romero's mall-bound masterpiece. Fact 21. The ending was originally much darker. Romero's first draft ended with both surviving characters dying, one decapitated by helicopter, the other taking her own life. He changed it at the last minute, deciding to give audiences a small spark of hope. That ending saved the film from being pure despair, but also made its final moments even more haunting. Which fact creeped you out the most? Drop your favorite fact below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into horror's best-kept secrets.